Okay, so I'm starting the recording now. Good morning, everyone. You are welcome back, or you are welcome to this class on data analysis. So, named January 2025 cohort. I think I edited this. Did I say it again? It will be January 2025. You should have it in your own there. January 2025. Sorry. January 2025. Okay. So you're welcome. So today is going to be the first class we'll be having on data analysis, and for the next 8 weeks, we'll be learning Microsoft Excel, Power BI, SQL, and Tableau. So during this class, we're going to learn some basic Excel functions. Under Excel, we learn basic Excel functions. Then we learn named range, self-referencing, text to column, data validation, data structuring, how to remove duplicates, and so on. That's day one. Then on the second day, I'm going to look at logical functions, sorting, custom, and this filtering statistical functions. And we look at data cleaning thereafter using Power Query and text functions. Then we'll move to VLOOKUP and XLOOKUP, index and match, data modeling using VLOOKUP and Power Pivot. So I'm going to learn Power Query here. As day 3, okay, we'll find a way around it. This day 3 will be somehow okay, but we will spend more time on Power Query and Power Pivot. We're going to use less time on the text function. Since most of the data we are cleaning now is going to be for data analyst, you work more with the table, not just the individual text function. So nonetheless, we are going to learn some text functions for data cleaning too. Then we move to pivot table, pivot chart, dashboard, and slider. I think were you able to go through the last class we had with the two master class? Hello? Were you able to go through the two master classes that we had last week?
Actually, I was in the last class, but I've not gone through it since then. And the first class, I missed it. I've been saying
Okay.
I will rewatch it, but to be honest, I haven't. But I will this week by God's grace to catch up with everything.
Very important, because everything we are doing here, this day 4, we have covered at least the dashboard and slider there. So all those things will make our job very fast. Are you getting me now? But
yes.
Okay, so then on Power BI, go to learn Power Query again. Power Query, we will learn some parts in Excel, but we're going to learn it more when we got to data Power BI. We're going to learn it more here. How to use Power Query for data cleaning. And like I said, the first 2 days we had, I ensured that we learned Power Query on the first day of the master class. We learned Power Query again on the second day. So if you watch the class, you will see how far we are able to at least to touch some part of Power Query. So it won't be too new when we get to Power Query and Power Query and Power BI. So how to connect data, introduction to Power Query, and all these will be taken on the day 5. Then day 6, we're going to learn DAX and solutions. There we move to on SQL, we're going to learn some basic overview, key SQL concepts for the analyst, basic select statement. SQL is basically the knowledge of databases. That is what SQL is all about. But because the reason why SQL has become very important to data analysts is because data will not be sent to you in CSV in most cases. If you work with a corporate company, you are likely to connect with the data yourself and go and extract what you think you need. So nobody will give you the data. you'll be the one to extract what you need from the database. So how do you now query the database? The language of database is SQL. Are you getting me now? So that is the reason why SQL is also very important when it comes to data analysis. So that's where you query the data to extract what you need and be able to use it for your own analysis. So then we move to Tableau. Tableau, just like Power BI, is a visualization tool, although very rich in visualization and very simple to use and more and very advanced. So there are a lot of advanced features that you will learn in Tableau. So it's something you keep learning and learning and learning and learning. That is, if you are likely to major in that angle. So that is what we are going to learn during this 8 weeks period. So, and like I said, I want you to take little time to always try to ensure that you watch the classes like on daily basis. Yes. Something we should watch on daily basis. Because if you can try to give out like if you can try to give like 1 hour daily to refresh whatever we learn in class, you'll catch up before the next class. But if that's not taken, and one is not able to go through the class before, if you are not able to go through the class before the next one, it might be challenging. Everything now. It might be challenging because
yes,
some of the classes will build the class on another one. And once you miss a class, the next one they are learning, you might look strange. Some strange things will come up, and by the time you started feeling uncomfortable with it, that is the end of the class. And we are all busy. Nobody has time to go and be looking at anything again. And before you know, so most likely the person is just going to drop out of the whole thing.
yeah.
The line. So that is the reason why it's very important to please ensure you can, if you can spend at least 1 hour a day, at least 1 hour a day is not too much. It's a sacrifice you're going to make for that period. So I can tell you, if you can make that sacrifice, you're going to gain a lot from this class. You're going to gain a lot from the class. But if you can't make that sacrifice, it will just be like one of those trainings. I know you know what I mean by one of those trainings. Yeah, I've done it. I've done it before. I've done it before. But you cannot really, you cannot confidently say that, okay, this is me in action. This is me in action. So when it comes to, I remember where so many people that we did some classes together, that even when you talk about this, and they will just feel like they look at you as if you are somebody is like a genius. And it's not about genius. It's just that with little I have before, I was able to focus and I sacrifice some things for other things. So I've sent a workbook to the WhatsApp group also. Also look at the WhatsApp thing.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so I'm going to open the Excel workbook now. So, I want to ask questions from you. How good are you with Excel? How frequent do you use Excel?
Since that last day, I only use it for my former place of work before I left Nigeria, because I used to work with PwC. Most of our work is on Excel. So and the thing with Excel, the more you use it, the more you get better.
Yeah. And yeah. The area you use is the area you're going to be comfortable with. Okay, and then in case of the lack of PwC, most of the time they already have a kind of built-in template for your work.
Yes,
They have
yes, for most of
templates.
our work.
Yes, they already have their template so that nobody will just come and dabaru the other. Okay, no
Yes.
problem. Let's start working. So for people like you, you're not too new to Excel, so you're going to make adjustments very fast. So we're going to start from learning from basic Excel functions for people who also want to watch a class along the line too. So when we talk about Excel, Excel is a spreadsheet that is used for varieties of things. And just like the normal sheet that we have, in Excel we have cells. And then there's a book we used to call 2B or so when we were in primary school. A kind of sugar based something like this. So where you have
Yes.
one line and the other line across, call it 2B. Then
I use for
we use for
mathematics.
mathematics in primary one, primary two. So mathematics then where you write one inside one box plus this. So that is the sample of spreadsheet, and that's what Excel is also built on. So and what the book when you open your Excel, what you open is a workbook. In that workbook, we have sheets. So in that sheet, you have several sheets in a single workbook. So the sheet can be renamed, can be deleted, can be hidden, can be hidden, and there are a lot of things you can do with the sheets. So there are a lot of things you can do with the sheet, can do anything with that sheet, and so that's just a basic introduction of spreadsheet, Excel and spreadsheet. There are a lot of spreadsheets out there that we also have. Not only Excel, we have Google Sheet. It's always very popular when it comes to spreadsheet. I think the next to Excel in terms of popularity is actually Google Sheets. Google Sheets is very popular too. Then we now have other ones. Almost every big tech company has their own sheet now. Almost everybody has. Soho has their own sheet. What are these guys? There are a lot of sheets out there. Huh? WPS or so. They have their sheets. A lot of sheets that are there. But the most
Even
popular
Microsoft.
this is Microsoft. Excel is for Microsoft.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's
Yeah,
true.
Excel is that
They
is
have the online one too.
is the leading. It has the desktop and the online version too. And there are a lot of upgrades in Excel for 2007, 2010, 2013, 2016, 2019, 2021. We have 365 that keep upgrade on daily basis. Every day they have new formula. If you with knowledge of in fact the 365 Excel is becoming like programming something. There are a lot of expression on daily basis that have been added to it. You can do a lot of things with that online 365, even with desktop version. That 365 is becoming something else, and that's very fantastic. So, so now when like working with when we work with Excel, the Excel is basically used to store data, and we can also use it for calculating, analyzing, and summarizing data. For example, we have this letter in this cell A4. This cell is called A4. If you look at this page, this is called the name box for this cell. We have cell A4 and cell A5. We want to add these two letters together, these two numbers together. What do you do? Wherever you are inside the cell that you want to write the formula, start the formula with equals to, then you select the first cell plus the second cell, enter. You press the plus sign from your keyboard. Again, equals to this. Then press plus on your keyboard and select this. You can also type numbers also in Excel. Equals to 45 plus 65. So the difference between these two is that while this reference can be copied where it will move and added, you can use it across a column or a row. This will only result in only the numbers you have there. That's the difference between the two. When we get to referencing, we will learn more about that. Also, to minus, to calculate differences in Excel, we can also use the same, this minus sign that we have on our Excel. I think we have it between 0 and equals to on my own keyboard here. So we have equals to 2 minus. You press minus on your keyboard and you select the other number. Enter. So we have 1. Multiplication, we have it on 8. Number 8, you see asterisk there. That equals to this. Press asterisk there. Then we have that. Then we have equals to, I want to put 1, divided by, that is forward slash. There is forward slash on your keyboard. That is called division. And then we select this. Hit enter. So these are the common operation sign that we use. Then the last one is raised to power equals to 2. Raised to power, that is, you can find that on 6. You press shift and 6. That is, I mean the 6, not if your keyboard has multiple keyboard. Some keyboard has numbers by this side also. Not, we are not talking of this side. All the numbers I'm mentioning are the one at the top here. I hope you can see my on screen board. The numbers there, when I'm talking about 6, 1, 2, all those things, this is the 6. Shift 6 will give you raised to power. Then you can now select, okay, 2 raised to power 5.
Okay.
So that's how to, those are the common signs that we use for mathematical operations in Excel. So plus sign, minus sign, multiplication sign, this and that. Now, but when you work, the more data you work on, Mr. Kowam, good morning or good day. Don't know what time you have over there, or you're in the night. Mr. Kowam, are you there? Can you unmute? Have you joined the WhatsApp group that I sent to you? The link
Good
I
morning.
sent to you.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir. I sent the WhatsApp link to you. Have you joined? Because I've sent the workbook to that group.
Okay, I'll check it out.
Please check that group. If you have not joined, that is the January 2025 tax cohort or something like that. I can't remember the name of the group again. Let me check the name of the group.
Okay.
It's January 2025 something. Yes, join the group. That's our own closed door group.
I tried joining around I think about 30 minutes ago. It was telling me the class is not started yet.
No. So I mean the WhatsApp group. I'm talking about WhatsApp group.
Okay.
BMC Tutors Jan 25. I send it to your WhatsApp.
Okay.
There's a link.
I'll check it out.
Group there. That's where we'll be discussing our own group from out of the major group now. Okay. Thank you very much. So now, okay, will you be able to practice with us now as we are going in this class? Will you be able to practice? Are you with us, or you just be following?
I'll be following. Now.
Okay.
Yes.
I'm sending the workbook to you now.
Okay.
To your dear. Okay. So I've sent you a deal also. That you be able to follow. Okay, so we are likely to be working, like I said, we are likely to be working with more data, which means if you have like 100 rows, you are not likely to be using this sign that we just learned. This plus this plus this plus this for 100 rows or 1,000 rows. It's not going to work, right? Or even if you like, let's say this, comma this, comma this. No matter what you do, it's going to take a lot of time. In that case, Excel has some inbuilt functions. We call them functions that you can use for our formula. When you go to formula tab, there are a lot of functions there. All these are functions. You can see we call it function library. We have financial functions, logical functions, text functions, date and time functions. All these are different functions and more functions. Statistical, engineering, cube, information, comparability, web. All these are what we are what? They are called functions. But the moment you use those functions in your formula, it becomes formula. So now equals to, we want to add it together, we want to sum them. Instead of using this plus sign, it then adds its own function called sum function. Sum function. Now, when I type equals to sum, by the time you can see we have different types of sum. We have sum if, sum product, sum SQL. All these are sum. But what we want to use now is sum. The moment you reach what you want to use, just press tab. It will automatically open a bracket for you. The moment you click on the tab, it will open the bracket for you automatically. Are you getting that now? So that is how to generate, that's how to open bracket automatically. Then you select the data you want to select. After the bracket, it's asking for number. What number you want to add together? You can just select the number, the first one, drag your cursor to the last one, and close the bracket. So you can see we have B18 column B21. It means we want to add cell B18 to B up to B21. That is the middle of this column in between. So then close the bracket. You can close the tab also, and you have your result. That's a simple way of using sum functions. Then you can also use what is called auto sum. Auto sum, that's when you have a data either straight or, let me copy this, Ctrl C. Then I want to paste it across. We have something like this. Now, if I come here and I type alt plus equals to alt, we have auto sum here, but the short form or the shortcut for auto sum is alt and equals to. I'm going to press alt and equals to for my keyboard now. Alt and equals to together. Alt equals to. And you can see that Excel will use its own intelligence to check where the numbers are. And it's showing me that, is this what I want? I can just hit enter. That is it. If I come to this place and I hit alt equals to, you can see that it's not looking at the top again. It's looking at the left. So when you have a structured number, you can use alt equals to, instead of typing formula, just use alt and equals to, and then will do the remaining job for you. Is that clear? Now let's look at average function. Average. When you talk about mean, median, mode in mathematics, another formula that is very common when you are in analysis is average. I want to know average sales, average this, average that. Are you getting me? So we use average often. The average, because it's always good to know the average of the data, so that you know where your populations are. Because the population, where are they? Okay, I want to know the average age of Nigerians, so that we will know where the majority of populations are. That is why we always use average. We want to know where your data where the majority of your data actually lies. So to get average, we use equals to average function. Just like a sum, you can see you have average A, average if, average ifs, and the average. So I've selected, if I want to use this, I can just use my cursor on keyboard to scroll down. The moment you reach where you are, just press tab on your keyboard. It will open the bracket for you. Select your data, just like the cell, close the bracket, or you press tab again. You get average. It's as easy as that. Again, equals to average. Average, select your data, and press tab again. So when you press tab for the first time, to open the bracket. When you press tab second time, it close the bracket and they jump to the next cell. You can also use, under the auto sum here, we also have average, which means that if you want to use the auto sum option up there, you can just select the cell and go to the top here, select average. Instead of sum, it will be auto average. Now, you can see it's asking, it has generated the formula, but you just click OK and you get that. So those are the basic functions that we use. We also have some other functions too, like count, maximum, minimum. Sometimes in your data, it's always good when you are working with data, you might be interested in getting the maximum function. You want to know the maximum number, the maximum cells, the highest cells, the least cells. When you talk about list, maximum, highest, all those things we are talking about maximum function and minimum function. So equals to main function, MIN, that's the main function. Press your tab, select the data range, and press tab again to close the bracket. I like using tab because it makes it faster instead of hitting shift and bracket, shift and this. Just use your tab. Pam, it opens the bracket, hit it again, it closes the bracket. And I think that makes more sense because our job also requires speed. So shortcut we must be used to shortcut. Before you drag a cursor up and down, somebody with shortcut will have done the thing and move on. So just like the minimum functions, we have maximum functions too. Equals to max. Open the bracket by using tab, select the number, and close the bracket by using tab also. I want to believe that we are all familiar with all these things that we are doing now. I want to believe. I know Rashid is not that new. Mr. Kwam, I want to believe that all these things are clear to you. Or am I too fast? If I'm too fast, please can tell me to slow down. I still think it's very basic, but
Yeah,
can be.
It's okay. It's okay, sir. I'm still
Okay.
going on with it. Yeah.
Okay, because I don't want to be too fast, but I might think it's a basic, but that basic might be too much for somebody else again. So that's why I want to be sure. Then we have what is called absolute functions. Absolute. We use absolute functions when sometimes you are working with data and you don't need you won't need minus in that data. Even the original data has minus, but what you want to use is not minus. For example, when you are talking of standard deviations, you have let's say you are working, I want to get some variance, we have x minus x bar, and sometimes you can have minus and plus. But to get the x bar minus x bar square, before you can square it, you need to do what? You can remove that minus. To get your numbers into positive from negative, you use what is called absolute function. And the function is ABS. It converts all negative to positive, and it doesn't change the positive value. ABS to the bracket, select this number and close the bracket. Hit enter. That is 10. Let me drag this down. You can see everything has become what? Positive. That is called absolute function. ABS function. You can see the function here. ABS equals to ABS into B31, and then that is 10. Then we have integer. Integer round the number down to the nearest integer also. Int function. We have equals to int function, and you put the bracket, so the bracket it go back to the nearest integer. Let's see. So the nearest integer is 10, not the regular round up or round down of the 10. If you want to do round up, we have what is called round up, and we have round down. We also have round only. You can round a number to how many digits? To 1 digit or 2 digits. Put 1.5 and now in 2 digits. So am I back online?
Yes, you're online. You're online.
Yes. Yes, thank you. Thank you, mommy. What is it?
Okay. Am I back online?
You've been online all this while, and we are following.
Okay, okay. I can see that there is a network thing from my hand there. Okay, so you can use round function, round up, round down, and but what you're learning is actually integer. Sometimes you just need the numbers here. You don't need anything at the back. You want to round up to the nearest, to the nearest round down. When you round down to the nearest integer, you use the round function. Then
I can't see your screen anymore. Your screen just disappeared now.
okay, it's part of the network thing.
Okay.
What about now? It's back, right?
Yes, it's back. It's back on.
Okay. Then we talk about count function. We also use count very often too. We have count and we have count A. Both of them work the same way, except that one count will count numbers, numeric entries only. It will ignore blank, text, and errors. Count will ignore what? Blank cells, text cells, and errors. Let me add an error here. Let me add an error here. Equals to 0.
Who is here?
This 0. Okay, it should be this 0 0. I want to generate an error message. So you can see we have error now here. Now let's use count function and see what we're going to get. Equals to count. Count, then use your tab to open the bracket, put all the cells in place, and close the bracket. So I'm going to hit enter. We got 4. Why do you get 4? Somebody tell me why we got 4. 4.
Because it's only counted the numbers, the valid numbers.
Exactly. Which is 50, 100, 50, 20. But if you use count A, the count A of the thing will count all cells except blank cells. All cells that has any cell that has something inside it will be counted. So if I'm going to count, so when you are counting a row that is not a numeric row, somebody asks you how many staff do we have, and there is no, the staff ID is stored in text format. ST001, ST002, ST0111, DIV000. You get it now? You know that is a text function. I want to count that row. What do you use? You use count A to count them. So you can see we have 9. Now we have 9 because of what? It counted the error, it counted the text, but ignore the blank cell. That is how to use count and count A function. So those are the basic areas we are looking at now in this class. So now let's move to the next one, which is the named range. Any question on the basic functions? Before we move to the named range.
None from this end.
Okay, let's move on to the next one. When we talk about named range is a way by which we name our cell or we name a range of cells. You can just decide to give something a name. And that name, we're going to call the Excel with that name. For example, I want to select cell C1. When I click on this cell, that is column C, row 1, that is C1. When I click on this cell C1, you can see the name here. The name of the cell is what? C1. I can click on this cell and call it Akib. Can you see that I've changed that C1 to what? To Akib. Now I hit enter. So after the enter, the name has stored. When I click on the cell anytime, you can see what? Akim in that cell. Because Excel doesn't work, Excel does not work with your numbers. This 785, Excel is not working with this number you have there. Excel is actually working with what? With cell I6. What Excel recognizes is this cell, not the number inside. It's the cell that Excel is working with. So if tomorrow somebody come and change 1,000, put this to 1,000, what happened? Excel will automatically change it to 1,000 because Excel is not concerned with the number you have there initially. Excel is looking at that cell. Anything in that cell is what Excel is going to work with. Now, so the cell name can be changed to anything. I can say, okay, equals to Akib. The moment I hit Akib, Excel will look at that cell. And you see, it's looking at this cell. If there's anything in that cell, Excel will bring it out. 0. For now, it's 0. If I put 569 in the cell, what happened? Excel will automatically change it to what? 569. If I had 1,000 to it, okay, I can say okay, equals to Akim plus 1,000. You see, Excel does not concern about the name. It's only concerned about what? The text inside that the cell name. Excel is concerned with the cell name, not the content inside it. So the moment you change the name, Excel will agree that that's the name is bearing. And why do we need name range? Why do we need to change to create a name range? The reason for that is because when you are working with Excel, it's easier for you when you name your cell to work from anywhere and see achieve the same aim without having to look back into your workbook. For example, let me quickly name these cells. I want to name this. I have this cell. I want to name it price. I want to name this one what? Demand. That's okay. I select this cell. Then I can, I've named this already. Okay. Let me quickly go to data tab or formula tab rather. Click on name manager and delete the formula there. Please delete this name. Demand. Yes. Fixed cost. Delete them. Delete. 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 And delete. So now this is the one we just created now. I can close this now. That is called name manager. Name manager. So I want to name this cell. I just click on this cell. The cell name is what? T28. I can click on this box and call it price. Small p. Price. I call it price. That's the name I give to this box. This cell. I hit enter on my keyboard. Now, anytime I'm working somewhere, I'm just working here. We have quantity to be 50. I want to multiply the price equals to this times, I'm supposed to go and click on this cell here to pick the price, right? But instead of that, this place where I am, I can simply type what? Price. Can you see? Because I've named it, I can call the name from anywhere and I will get the result. That is the essence of named range. So you don't need to be looking around. Clicking here equals to come here, this plus equals to, go here, pick plus equals to no. You don't need to be doing that. What you need to do is just what? Just name the cell and call the name from anywhere you have. Wherever you are, just call the name equals to Akeem multiplied by price. And see that we are on another sheet entirely, but the name we have is on name range, but we can call the name from anywhere and we can use that name. Because Akeem is 0 there, you can see we have name Akeem for price multiplied by price to give you 0. That is the essence of a name range. Now, how do we create named range? How do we create named range? So to create a named range, there are 3 ways by which you can create. We can use define name to create name. We can use the name box, which we have demonstrated twice now. By using this, select this box and they change the name. Just type the name inside. So you can use this name. I use name box, define name. If I click on define name, it will open this bracket. And it's telling me what you want to do. I can give it the name of my choice. Let me pick this. Let me use demand this amount and use define name. The name is demand. It's asking me the name. If I can change it if I want to change it, anything, I can leave it as demand and I click OK. So as it is, I've named this cell to what? To demand. And you see that when I click on this cell now, demand will come up. When I click outside, demand will go. When I click on, it's no longer C28, it's what? It's demand. C29, it is now what? It is now demand. That is the demand now. Demand now. So that is how to create, and that way by which you can create name. The third name by which you can create name is by using create from selection. Create from what? From selection. You can name, let me select this range. I want to create name from the first column. Notice these are the 2 columns now. From the front here, I want to create name from. I want to use this name for this cell. That is when I C4, I want to show unit cost instead. Click on create from selection, and it's asking where is the name that I want to use. I can click from the left column. If I have at the top row, I can click from the top. But for now, it's the left column that is available. Click OK. You can see the names are created. Go to name manager now, you'll find them in the name manager. We now have unit cost and we have fixed cost. Fixed cost and unit cost are here now. So those are the way by which you can. And so with that, we have a formula here that we want to use. You can come here and say, okay, equals to. You can see that equals to demand. Sorry, equals to demand first tab multiply by open a bracket price minus unit cost, price minus unit cost minus, close the bracket, minus fixed cost. You can see that it's easy for me to pick. Now, another advantage of this is that somebody has this formula and somebody has this formula equals to this multiplied by, let me use this. I'm going to copy this number. Control C. So I want to use the formula here. I will say equals to again. Let me select formula here. Equals to, that is demand. This is demand multiplied by open the bracket price minus unit cost. Close the bracket minus fixed cost. This is fixed cost. Now, somebody have this formula and somebody has this formula. Which one is easier to understand? Between these two formulas there, which one is more easier to understand? We have D12 times D58, this and this, that. Consider somebody will quickly understand, okay, we multiply demand by the price and the unit cost. That is a profit per unit, multiply by what? The demand. We sell at 5 naira, we bought at 4 naira. That is 1 naira difference. 1 times demand, that's 85, minus the fixed cost. Okay, it's easy. But somebody is looking at D29, D28, D30, D31, D32. All those D number doesn't make their easy sense unless you click on it and go and check which one is D29, which one is D28. And before you do that, the person who named the cell who is using name cell will quickly understand what is happening. And so the person who is using the whatsoever will quickly understand what it means. That is the essence of using named range. That is that. Then let's look at this. We have this. Want to give you the name from the top here. You can select the name from the top. So click on data tab and click on formula tab and click on create from selection. At this time around, Excel has constructed the top row to be the name of the cell. You can say, okay, let me even make it 3. Let me select the 3 together. Then we can say, okay, define name. I will call this, sorry, you're not defining name, you're calling name from selection. We want to pick the name from the top row. This column will represent share, this column represents price, and this column represents what? Value. Click OK. Okay, because there's already a price there. That means you want to change the price. Let me make it prices. Prices. So, and I'm going to hit on selection and top row is okay. Now we have the shares, price, and value. We have created name automatically without having to create one by one. Let's go here and see. You can see we have prices, we have shares, and we have value. Those are the things we have in this cell. And the cell is referring to what? You can see the refer to each of the cell. What is it referring to? It's referring to cell D from D38 to D44. We are going to learn how to use this absolute function in the next class. In the next lesson after this. So name range, you have created name. Now let's try and use this formula and see how it's going to work. We want to multiply shares and prices together to know the value. Type equals to shares. You see that selected all the shares. Multiply by prices. Prices is this. And hit enter. And you see how quick it is to use a named range to perform function formula in Excel. Multiply the two, and you quickly get what? The result by using equals to shares multiplied by prices. Any question on that? So I will leave this place. I will leave this last one for you to use. I will leave type it and send it in. So we are going to name this column growth. I'm going to call it growth. Then I'm going to generate report here. We are going to use 1 plus growth. Last year growth. Oh, sorry, no longer, the formula is no longer here. Oh, computing annual revenue is 15%. Right here. Right. Formula is no longer here. Right. Okay. I will send there's an assignment, there's a technical something here that I want us to learn. I will send it to you. Remind me, I will send to you an assignment. Look at it. This is an assignment. It has nothing to do with this one. So I'm going to learn that. I'm going to see how we do that. But that will include knowledge of reference here. This thing, knowledge here, will also include knowledge of reference. Okay. So any question on the named range? To name a range and call a name for any action or formula. Any question on that? On named range?
No question so far.
Okay. Mr. Kwam, any question?
Not so far.
Okay. Okay. Good. So let's check the next lesson. So the next lesson we are going to look at is referencing. Referencing in Excel means that, remember when we were learning basic functions, I thought our name range also. I said Excel doesn't really care with the content, but it cares with the name of the cell. That is the reason when you copy something like this, when you multiply, when you do something like this, let's say we have 2, 3, is 2, 4, 6, 8. When something like this, and when you have something like this equals to this plus this, and hit enter, and then you copy this formula down. You copy this formula down. What happens? Excel will also sum the next one, sum the next one, and sum the next one. That is by default. That is called relative reference. That is called relative reference. Relative reference. Relative reference. This class is already 1 hour. Let me stop this and start the recording and that recording. So I don't want it to be too long. I think we should make it just 1 hour class so that the recording will not be too long so that for you to download. I'm stopping the recording and I'm starting